Welcome to the Intimate Partner Violence video miniseries 2021 for Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Diane Lewis and I'm a victim service provider. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the risk factors for intimate partner violence. Whilst IPV affects many individuals regardless of their age, race, socioeconomic status, educational background, and religious beliefs, there are many common factors among victims of IPV. These factors may be individual, relationship, and community, and can exist among both victims and abusers. Low self-esteem. Research shows that low self-esteem is significantly associated with intimate partner violence in both aspects of victimization as well as perpetration. Low income or unemployment. Low-income earning persons are at a disadvantage of being able to provide for themselves and for their children, something that makes them more vulnerable, and many abusers use this to keep them in an abusive relationship. Financial struggles in a relationship may also lead to one partner abusing the other due to frustration. Low academic achievement. Lack of education and knowledge keep many victims from empowering themselves and leaving out the relationship. Also, many persons are not aware that their behavior is abusive, and because of this lack of knowledge, they tend to perpetrate the abuse, or in the case of victims, believe that the abuse is normal. Young age. Persons who are younger tend to experience issues with emotional dependence, insecurity, and self-esteem, and have little to no income or support. This makes them more vulnerable to becoming victims of abuse. Isolation is also another risk factor, as victims have very little to no tangible support. Other individual risk factors include personality traits such as antisocial personality or borderline personality, mental health or behavioral issues such as depression, anger and hostility, emotional dependence and insecurity, and aggressive or delinquent behavior. Substance abuse such as drug and alcohol use or addiction. One's history, such as prior history of enduring or witnessing abuse in a previous home or relationship, experiencing poor parenting as a child, experiencing physical discipline as a child, neglect, financial instability, and emotional instability. One's upbringing or values may also contribute or become a risk factor for intimate partner violence, such as a belief in strict gender roles, a desire for power and control in relationships, as well as perpetrating psychological aggression. Relationship factors include marital conflicts such as fights, tensions, and other struggles such as jealousy, marital instability such as separations and divorce, dominance and control of the relationship by one partner over the other, economic stress, as well as unhealthy family relationships and interactions. This may be being isolated from others, witnessing IPV between parents as a child, having a history of poor parenting, experiencing physical abuse as a child, or experiencing abuse in a previous relationship. Community risk factors for IPV include poverty and associated factors such as overcrowding, high unemployment, crime in the neighborhood, low social capital, such as lack of institutions, relationships and norms, and poor neighborhood support. Another risk factor includes weak community sanctions against IPV, such as supporting male privilege and traditional gender norms and gender inequality. Due to the fact that significantly more women were victims of intimate partner violence-related homicides than males, I want to talk a little bit more on male privilege. Male privilege is accepting the principle and privilege of male dominance and tolerating violence against women that can lead to intimate partner violence. There are 4 widespread cultural conditions that allow or encourage men to abuse women. The first is objectification. This is the belief that women exist for the satisfaction of men's personal, sexual, emotional, and physical needs. Just last week, there was an article which stated that a man resorted to beating his wife before pouring gasoline all over her body because she did not cook him a meal. The second cultural condition is entitlement to male authority. That's believing that males have the right and obligation to control, coerce, and or punish a female's independence. An example of this may be a man who physically abuses his wife or abuses her in any manner simply because she would like to work and he believes that she should be taking care of the household instead. The third condition is that physical force is acceptable, appropriate, and effective. Believe it or not, many persons hold the view that physical force is a form of punishment within an intimate partner relationship that is acceptable. There is also the condition of societal support for male dominance, or their controlling behavior, or their assaultive behavior. They reinforce this male dominance when we fail to intervene aggressively against the abuse. The culture condones violence. Sometimes you hear certain countries having what they call a rape culture. Rape culture refers to an environment in which rape or sexual violence against women is normalized and excused. So today I'll be tackling our very last citizen question. Is it possible for abusers to change? The answer is yes, but it can only be done through confronting and acknowledging abusive behavior and addressing it. The best way that this can be done is through couples counseling or individual psychotherapy or counseling, where the abuser would be required to do the work that it takes, not only to address the reasons why he or she displays abusive behavior, but also to help improve the relationship between them and their partner. There are several government agencies which offers this free counseling right here in Trinidad and Tobago, which is now being done through a hotline due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There are also many private psychologists where persons who have become abusive can seek counseling to improve themselves and their relationship. Look out for the next episode on October the 21st, 2021, where we will be discussing the organizations and accessible resources for IPV victims in Trinidad and Tobago. Should you have any questions on intimate partner violence or the information we just discussed, please feel free to email me. Thanks for listening. If you or anyone you know has been a victim of intimate partner violence or any type of other domestic violence, please take note of the following agencies on the screen and their contact numbers for help. If you're experiencing or you're currently witnessing any sort of violence, please contact the emergency services at 999 or 555 for immediate assistance.